Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a problem with the Bosch washing machine, and that is the dreaded broken door handle. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can try and get in and the ones that don't work, and we'll see if we can get in there and fix that up. The way the lock works is that the handle on the front of the door pushes on a little piece of plastic that pushes on the metal lever, and that releases the lever from the housing of the washing machine and the door lock that's inside. And there is an emergency release on these machines, which is down here, which normally you'd be able to pull, and that would allow the door to open. The reason that doesn't work, this is the lock itself, is that the hook engages inside this hole here and just clips in. And when the thermal mechanism is heated, it comes across and goes in the place of the hole and stops the lock from being released. So that's operated by two of these wires, and the third wire is a sensing wire, says that that's moved across. And that's what you can hear click when you wait about 1 minute after the machine cycle, and that then allows you to open the door. So the emergency release won't help. The lock itself isn't the problem. It's moving the metal hook from this hole that we can't get to operate. So there is a couple of ways to do this. The ways that won't work on a Bosch is using the cord or using the credit card. And the reason for that is because the hook goes this way into the door. So if you put the cord around the machine, you're just locking it more. And the same with the credit card. If you could get it in, you're just pushing the lock against the housing. So if we look just behind the housing, if you get down on the top and pull the lever forward, you can just see inside there, where you should be able to see a hinge pin. So I'll just get that into focus a little bit better. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. So the way we can get in is by using a lever to push on that metal hook latch mechanism instead of using the plastic handle. So if you look down on the top of the machine here, and I might need to take a photo to show you, you should be able to see the mechanism and see the metal pin. Just see if I can open that up enough. So the way that we can get into it is by going behind here, and there's a metal plate with the hook on it, and we can actually engage on the metal plate and push that forward to release the hook. The way we do that is by looking down the gap behind the handle here. Now this is going to be a little hard to see. I will show you once I've got the door open, but basically by jamming the handle forward a little bit, I can get the screwdriver onto a metal plate, and by pushing on that I can release the hook. I'll just do that now and then show you the door open. Okay, so hopefully when I push on this, with the door open now, you should be able to see that metal plate, and you can see if I push on the screwdriver, that just actually moves the hook forward. You do have to push in on the door a little bit to release the pressure off the hook, and once you've done that, then you've got the door open, and we can start on the next step. There is one other way you can do it if you have a suitable kind of implement like I've got here, which is by pushing on the back of that metal plate just near the hook. I'll just show you that there, that little metal tab there. And by pushing on that, the same thing, it'll push the hook outwards and allow the door to release. So that one's a bit easier. It is a little bit tricky to get in there because of this rim, but either way we'll get the hook to release from this hole and release out and allow you to get the door open. The next step, we're just going to take the door off by undoing these two T20s, and once those are undone, then we just lift the hinge up and that will release the door itself. When you have undone those two T20s, there is a hook here that goes into the housing and a pin, so you have to lift the bottom out first and then lift the top out, and then the door should come away. So now we're going to take out all of these screws around the door housing itself. With all 11 of those screws taken out, including the 3 around there by the hinge itself, then this plastic ring will then just lift up and out of the way. Just be careful with the hinge that you keep that in its original location when you put everything back together. And over on this side is where we've got the broken handle itself. So the handle hinges on these 2 pins on either side, and when you move those, there should be a little piece of plastic sitting on here that's broken away, and on our machine it's actually dropped down into this hole here. So this is what we need to fix up, or you can buy a new handle assembly, but it will cost you around 50 US, maybe 50 euro, and if we can fix this, then we don't need to get a new one. There is one more way you can get the door open without using either of the first 2 hooks. If you get yourself a knife shaped object and put it through the gap just next to the handle, just at this location here, just next to that fixing screw, so I can show you that when we've got the machine back together. Then you can actually push onto this tab just here. It's almost as though it was made for it. That's the same tab that I pulled on with the screwdriver. So by pulling it that way, open the latch. If you push on that from outside the door, you can do the same thing. So you can push on that. The reason it didn't work for me, I was pushing on here before without realizing how strong this spring is. So that's quite a push on there that you need to do to release that lock. Okay, let's keep going and see how the repair comes out. So the handle all glued now. I put in these 2 screws and the glue is now cured, so we'll get that back together and see how we go. Just a bit more detailed look at the third method to open. So this is the tab that you can push on from outside of the machine through the slot between the handle and this inner casing. And if you push on that, you can see that it just starts to push the lever open. It's a bit hard to see, but the door is actually open now. If I was pulling on that at the same time as pushing, then the door would have popped open and the lock would have released. Just a couple of hints while I'm putting the door back together. So it's easier if you put the screws in at the back first, and then the front still lifts up and down and you can access it to put in the latch. And then with the latch, it's easier if you put it on the top ring first and then lower it down. Otherwise you can't get it over the hook retention piece. But now that's back together, works fine, even without the screws in. So we'll get those last screws in and get the door back on. Door back together now, and the handle working just fine, and releasing that latch just as expected. Okay, hopefully that's helpful for somebody. Hope you enjoyed watching the video, and if yours is broken, get yourself a T20 and give it a go at fixing it yourself. And if you can't fix the handle, then just buy a handle online and at least you can replace it. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.